Kyle here from All Media Reviews. It's Friday, April 17th. I'm in the record room. This is the first time I've done a video, the music room, since I think it was when I was showing the Daydream Believer single for Joyce and everything. So it's been a while because this room was used as like a storage place for a lot of her clothes for a while, and I just cleaned it out a couple weeks ago. But I'm working on her records and everything like that. You can see alphabetizing, and then the big project to try to um, show them on here. And I need to get a new camera. Long story about that, but and I'll probably do a video blog update. But this video is supposed to be about the Rock Hall um, class reaction 2026. So let me just go over the names quickly as possible, and long videos, of course. Phil Collins, Billy Idol, Iron Maiden, Joy Division / New Order, Oasis, Sade, Luther Vandross, and Wu-Tang Clan among the, I think it was 17 nominations. Those are the seven. Seven? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, 8 that got in. So, I mean, I've said it's an improvement. 10 needs to be the number, but it's better. But then you include all this other stuff. Early influences. Celia Cruz, spelled wrong, Fela Kuti, Queen Latifah, MC Lyte, and Graham Parsons. The musical excellence, Linda Creed, Arif Maldon, Jimmy Miller, and Rick Rubin. And then the Ahmet Ertegun Awards going to Ed Sullivan. So, okay. Who did not make it? Jeez, what happened here? They had that list on that same site. Black Crowes, Jeff Buckley, Mariah Carey, Melissa Etheridge, Lauryn Hill, INXS, New Edition, Pink, Shakira. That's it. So all right, my reaction is this. It's both good and bad. I'm glad Phil Collins got in finally. It was long overdue. He should have been in probably in a year or two after Madonna got in. But the thing is, if they would have put him on the ballot the same year as Madonna or Whitney Houston or Janet Jackson, one of these other pop acts that got in, probably would have split the vote. That's the whole split. They should have rank vote. I don't know. It would have split the vote. It would have, they would have canceled each other out. So yeah, the thing is, who's going to induct him, and will they actually include things outside of his solo career? Because if you're inducting him, I mean, that probably will include some stuff from Genesis, of course. But he's already in with Genesis in 2009, 2010. I think it was maybe 2009. He got inducted in the ceremony in 2010. But there's still all the other stuff he did. Most notably, Brand X. That's the one. But he played on several other. He played on solo records from people, including Steve Hackett. I think maybe like Peter Gabriel and Mike Rutherford maybe also. He played on a lot of their solo records. But no, who's going to induct him? I don't know. It could be someone in the prog sphere. It could be someone in the pop sphere. I'm thinking more likely someone in the pop sphere. So I don't know. I mean, it's very curious. Think about I don't know. So would he want one of his contemporaries or someone he directly influenced by? I don't know. It's curious. I mean, it would be great if you could get like Bill Bruford or like a drummer, but you want a pop singer probably, then end up with someone like Timberlake or I don't know, someone maybe a little more versed. Some of it, I don't know, but anyway, let's keep on going. So Billy Idol, I've said it before, and glad he's in now. I don't have to think about him. There's so many other artists from that era that should be in already or should be in before him. There are artists that they've put in and they could put in after him, I guess. I'll give him. I don't hate Billy Idol. Joyce used to call him the sort of like the punk Elvis in some way of the 80s, but As I said, you put him in White Wedding, Moni Moni cover. Both of those might be covers. At least Moni Moni was a cover. Um, he had two other big hits, but I don't know. Like I said, Huey Lewis, Toto, just '80s artists that were as big, if not bigger, being ignored. So, Iron Maiden, that is a relief, and they're getting in actually as a performer and not on as a category like Judas Priest. Um, I don't know who's going to show up on that, but who will induct them? It might be someone like they might get Tony Iommi or someone from Black Sabbath. Um, I would contend it would be great if they could get, you know, someone in the metal prog more recent metal. I mean, it might be Grohl himself, not Grohl, Tom Morello himself will do it, which fine. But there's more of a direct influence from a lot of other bands. Claudio Sanchez from Coheed and Cambria has admitted loving Iron Maiden. But or one of the Geddy Lee, because Steve Harris is a you know admitted huge fan of them, of Rush. Anyway, it's good they're finally in. Will it lead to other metal? I would hope, but are they going to be done with it? Because potentially it should lead to Megadeth is the one that should be considered. They're the second biggest thrash band. They're bigger than Slayer. Sorry, I don't care if Slayer worked with Rick Rubin when we talk about, but Megadeth, Pantera kind of seems almost like the more obvious one. Pantera's most made commercially viable metal name after them, but yeah, the likes of the Scorpions or Motorhead makes a lot of sense too, but I don't know. And Slayer and I don't know. We'll see. It's great that they're finally in though. Who will induct them? Will they perform? They probably will perform, I would guess. Probably do the Trooper, which is like my favorite Iron Maiden song, anyways. Some of the prog stuff. Will Queensryche have any opportunity? I doubt it. In Dream Theater, of course, but it's a pipe dream. Queensryche, little teeny chance in, who knows, 10 to 20 years. Dream Theater, I don't know if ever will. Joy Division / New Order, like Billy Idol, finally get them out of the way. It's moving the goalpost. Why have the Guess Who not, get the Guess Who and Bachman Turner Overdrive should be nominated together too then, basically. But yeah, I mean, I don't inherently hate them. I just think they're hipster darlings that some of these, The Cure and Depeche Mode got in. Well, will we see other bands, other groups follow in their like the Smiths and get this Kaja? Yeah, hi. The Smiths and who bands from that era, the Replacements come back. I don't know, or New Wave. I think it's pretty egregious, even though they probably predate them by a little bit, that they get in and INXS did not get in. INXS are still a bigger name, but and more hits, but Anyway, I can take or leave them, but here, so you don't make the camera keep shaking, I'm picking you up. All right, Oasis, even more than Joy Division New Order, I'm just glad that they're not going to be brought up. I said many times, Blur. Not that I love Blur, but Blur would have been a better choice to put in. But will they do a reunion show? I know they've reunited recently, the Gallagher brothers. I don't know. I mean, they're in the same category as Nirvana and Green Day. I really don't care about them. I'll acknowledge that Britpop became a thing and they were the biggest name, even though, again, it's splitting hairs a little bit with Blur. But good, finally, get them over with. We can stop hearing about them every year. There are going to be many others like that, unfortunately, too. Yeah, why are they getting put in? Why are Smashing Pumpkins not being nominated? Or, Faith No More is the biggest one. Faith No More should have been in way before Oasis. I don't think, look back in anger, or what's the that's a lyric, I think. Wonderwall. I don't know if Wonderwall was bigger than Epic, but from an influence standpoint, I don't know. Sade, this is great to see. Of course, Joyce would have probably been happy, although it doesn't mean much because the Monkees aren't in anyways. But she would have been interested in watching the ceremony just for Sade. Um, will Sade appear? Who will induct Sade? That's a good question. It'd be great if they get Jessie Ware, but it'd be more like Dua Lipa or Olivia Dean now. But yeah, I mean, this is, I don't know. Maybe Sade's popularity will go up and Sade will tour, and I'll get to see her and her band. But anyway, happy to see Sade. Luther Vandross, the documentary a couple of years ago kind of increased visibility, including my own. He worked with a lot of people, and he had several hits, even though he's not rock. He's more like R&B and soul, and but yeah, I'm glad to see him get in for sure. And the Wu-Tang Clan, they have to have their token hip hop rap. Again, I understand it. It's like with certain acts. A pop act they have to put in every year, and a rap / hip hop. It will probably never end. You're gonna get acts that are big in the 2000s soon. Whereas you're not putting some of these other people. Why they got put in and not New Edition? New Edition won the fan vote. I don't know, but some of these other artists from that era or from that similar era, 80s, 90s. I'm not sure exactly when Wu-Tang Clan started. I want to say it was 90s, but it may have been late 80s. But all right, so these other influences. I don't know who Celia Cruz is. Never heard of her. Fela Kuti, I know best from that movie The Visitor. They played some of his music, and Richard Jenkins' character is playing hand drums to him. He's learning, even though he knows in real life, I guess, but from the character in that movie. But I know Femi Kuti's his son, I believe, is still recognizable. But yeah, I'm Afrobeat, and it's fine. I guess he had almost won the fan vote several years ago, like almost over 10 years ago. I didn't even remember that. Got defeated by someone. It was one of the first years of the fan vote, which is surprising. I mean, people know him, but it's like the Buena Vista Social Club became a hipster name. Queen Latifah's in. The thing about Queen Latifah is people know her as an actor, a little bit like LL Cool J, but even less so. I can't even remember. I probably have heard a few of her songs because I knew she was a rapper before her acting career. But I first saw her, I think it was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah, you asked the question, why is she getting in, and why isn't DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince? I think they'll probably eventually get in, even though they didn't have a long career. But spanned whatever it was. They had like a few albums in like 7 or 8 years. But once Will Smith's acting career took off, kind of took a back seat. And the same thing, people know her as an actor. She getting in. I mean, again, LL Cool J. At least I could tell you, Mama Said Knocks You Out, and he had some actually more noteworthy hits. I don't know. I guess if I listened to the Casey Kasem's from the early 90s, I bet you Queen Latifah would show up occasionally. But MC Lyte, I know the name, not knowing her music that well. Just looking some of it up. Another female rapper. It's like they're putting female rappers in, the early influences seems like, and look at these, most of these names, Fela's older, and then the last one I'm just about to talk to, Graham Parsons. It's great that he's in, I guess, although he's in with the Birds, I think. He was not in with the Flying Burrito Brothers. They haven't got in, but the whole argument about him, and Joyce mentioned this to me several times, and Michael Nesmith for country rock, Now, maybe this could lead to Michael Nesmith getting in, but Michael Nesmith, they were contemporaries, and Michael Nesmith had a much more prolific career. I don't know if it was more influential necessarily, but I can tell you this, Michael Nesmith is a more famous name than him, although it's not like he's not famous, but anyway, it's fine that he's getting put in, but then these other names, Linda Creed, I don't know who she is. Arif Maldon, I don't know who he is. Jimmy Miller, and then of course Rick Rubin. I know who he is, of course. He did producing with Slayer and the Beastie Boys and the Mars Volta. Mars Volta, I don't know if he'll get referenced in his induction. Maybe it'll get shown in a little video clip they show. And of course, ours. But many others. So, I mean, there's other producers that should probably get in, could have got in before him, but they're not more famous necessarily. Your likes of Terry Brown and Rupert Hine, I think it is. And the guy that worked with Queen, and Yes, I forget his name now. He passed away last year. Roy Thomas Baker. Yeah, I mean, why? I don't think he's in the Rock Hall. So, anyway, so all right, that's my take on the list. It's better than last year, I guess. That's the best thing I can say about it. Um, it's at least a longer list. People are having an issue with that. Yeah, there's 18 inductees or whatever. Unfortunately, among the 18 inductees, oh, I didn't mention Ed Sullivan. Um, Ed Sullivan. Yeah, I can see why they put him in. I don't, he introduced the Beatles to a lot of people, to like millions of people. Of course, the Ed Sullivan Show, and I think he was like he was a broadcaster before he was a talk like a he wasn't really a talk show host on his show. His show was like like a variety, introducing talent show. It's more like Star Search, the original Star Search, like the proto Star Search you want to call it, but um, the Doors thing are the other like most famous thing that he did. Of course, the Doors defied their request by playing "Light My Fire," and um, but anyway, the thing I react to a lot of this is 18 inductees. I like the fact that they're inducting more people, but they need to induct more performers. Celia Cruz, MC Light, um, Linda Creed, Arif Malden, and Jimmy like 4 or 5 of these are people most people don't know. I don't know. Um, again, Queen Latifah know her, and Fela Kuti is only somewhat known, even though I'm surprised to find out again he won the fan vote one year. But among the people that didn't get in, INXS is the biggest. Can you stop it, please? The biggest baffling. Them and New Edition. New Edition won the fan vote, so they're failing still. That they need to change things about that. Those are the two biggest. Mariah Carey, I predict, will just be put in next year. I think. Well, I think one of two things. Either she'll be, if she gets on the ballot, we'll see if she finally gets in. If she doesn't get in, she's going to be put in as just a musical excellence, because it's um Melissa Etheridge, she'll get nominated again or whatever. Lauryn Hill, I'm sure will get nominated again. She'll probably get put in if she doesn't get in. Again, New Edition wins the fan vote. They'll probably get nominated again, even though, again, I contend Bobby Brown actually probably was bigger. Maybe Bobby Brown will get in. I don't know. There's that whole argument with the solo act band thing. Pink, you know, 10 years from now, maybe Pink should have gotten on the ballot. Should not have gotten on the ballot in 2026. The same thing goes with Shakira. Um, you know, no, we don't need these pop. There's so many artists from the 90s that haven't even been nominated. Why are they getting nominated? I mean, beyond Mariah. Um, so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I should do do an update to that list. I don't know, but overall, getting Phil Collins in and getting Sade, and those are the two biggest wins here for me. Um, I will try to. Although I read that they were talking about on the Hall Watchers podcast that the ceremony is not going to be um, broadcast. You have to actually be there to see the whole. An abridged version is going to be on like ABC in December, and so it just I don't know. Maybe someone's going to film it. That's what probably someone will be there and film it and put up on YouTube. The in memoriam and some of the performances. I'm just curious on who's going to induct some of these people. Iron Maiden and yeah, they're the. I mean, those three. I guess I had two. Jeff Buckley not getting in. I'm not surprised. Will he ever get nominated again? I think he's going to end up going as in a category. Now, again, will it lead to Kevin Gilbert? Probably not. Will it lead to like Elliott Smith? Maybe. Elliott Smith at least has some recognition. Um, but um, I mean, yeah, eh, um, Sade, Phil Collins, and Maiden are the three that I care about on this list. And yeah, even among the other categories, I don't really. I mean, Luther, I'm happy for. I'm not as versed and as passionate. Joyce, mainly for Joyce. Joyce, like Luther Vandross, again, we went to the documentary. She was a big Sade fan, though. I've among all these records over here, there's going to be several Sade records to show. So, but I think that's about it. Yeah, again, will I should I do an updated list maybe at some point if I'm not making videos. I mean, should do a video blog. Should end this video. So, thank you for watching and we'll see you next time.